Oh, farewell.
Quick! Go! Go! Go!
Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
Good day to you.
I found the place where we can harvest saltpeter. You just head out of Troskovitz towards Apollonia, carry on alongside the road, then head off it at the right spot. Only it's not a pit, it's 3 piles of earth. The gravedigger Ignatius drove me there himself.
And is it the real stuff? Did you taste it?
Yeah. And I hope I never have to do that again. Ugh. I think the experience has changed me forever.
Oh, come on. You whine more than Zinnik. It's just commonplace salt. I was hoping it'd be closer. To go all the way to Apollonia. If I send 2 wagons, that should be enough.
What should I do?
That means I could mix a barrel and a half.
Krazel, focus. What else do you need from me?
Oh, sorry. What were you asking? About a reward? It's right here.
Thanks. How's it going with the golem?
Well, the whole thing is really appealing to a scholar of my field of interest and important for humanity. But certain circumstances have emerged which, unfortunately, move its creation somewhere further into the future.
Wait, what do you mean? So there won't be any golem?
Not for now.
What about all the niter? The life essence?
I admitted to myself it's maybe too much to take on, and I decided to go back to my roots.
So the search for saltpeter was for nothing?
Not at all. The saltpeter will help us create primordial matter. The origin. Chaos. Materia prima.
God. Here we go again.
As alchemical scholars, we actually have only one task before us. To penetrate the diaphanum and find out where it gets its disposition and power from. Only then will we understand the nature of the shadows.
Eh?
I'll explain it to you.
Tell me then. So what's the next task, Krazel?
There's a quiet whisper coming from the open gates of Trotsky, carried by the wind all the way here to me. Do you hear it too?
I hear it. Krazel's a loony. Krazel's a loony.
Scribe Erzim received a chest from Prague, and in that chest...
Hermes Trismegistos' document?
No, a book, and from an author even more venerable than Hermes. It's thin, with a sand-colored cover, embossed. Ordinary at first glance, but the treasure's inside. You might say it's a kind of alchemist cookbook.
So you're gonna have me go and pick some locks at the castle, eh?
Did I say anything about stealing? No, when the castle was still closed, I planned to get the book through the castle chamberlain, with the help of a certain woman. But now that you have access to Trotsky yourself, it'll be much simpler.
What about that certain woman? What was your plan?
That's old news. The central figure is now the Trotsky scribe, Erazim. He's a great lover of knowledge. I'm sure he'd be happy to indulge another kindred soul and lend him the book, indefinitely and voluntarily.
You've obviously never needed to personally get into Trotsky before. They don't exactly welcome people with open arms. The thought I'd get something there for free is pretty naive.
Just do your best. The book is the last piece of the puzzle. The very last. But looking back at your two previous tasks, I have no doubt you'll be able to handle the third just as well. Go and see Erazim and ask him about the book. Then you'll see how difficult it will be to get your hands on it. Best of luck, Henry.
I reckon I'll need it. A bit longer without food.
Promised myself I wouldn't leave it to the last moment this year. So, have you got any ideas? Where? How did it go?
I went to see him, but he threw me out.
And you're surprised?
But it was just a simple misunderstanding.
God bless. Hey, what have I...
So, I went to see my...
God bless.
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting ideas in it. Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
Why would Nickvard suddenly be avoiding you?
I have a sneaking suspicion. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
The price of such a book must be incalculable. People like Nickvard are too dumb to understand.
But I digress. As I said, Nickvard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hirsch, the hand.
For a nobleman, Nickvard is quite wary of his own kind, speaking only to servants.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nickvard is a loner, which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkov's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nickvard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
Before I go, can you tell me where I can find those people in the castle?
Who, exactly?
You said Nickvard is avoiding you. Where at the castle does he live? Are there any places he frequents?
Nickvard lives like a hermit here at Trotsky. Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's Tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden, or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nickvard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the Crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace, perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
That's everything I needed to know. I should eat something.
Praise the Lord. Christ, pardon me.
Henry, is that you? What the fuck are you doing here?
I just wanted to stop by and ask how you were.
What? Are you soft in the head? Christ, by rights I ought to lock you up in jail again and send for the executioner.
Yeah, I don't much fancy going back there for the third time.
So then? Listen, of course I'm much obliged to you. If it wasn't for you, I'd be at the pearly gates. But the smartest thing you can do now is to vanish before someone else notices you.
But first, tell me what's been happening here since the last time.
Ah, nothing much. Sir Otto is in Kuttenberg. The Chamberlain was killed here in a gorge. Now Istvan, well, the less said, the better. So for now I'm in charge here. That is, until his lordship returns. If he returns. Listen, of course I'm much obliged to you. If it wasn't for you, I'd be at the pearly gates. But the smartest thing you can do now is to vanish before someone else notices you.
All right. Take care. Maybe we'll meet again one day.
Perhaps. You never know. Best be off now, though.
Bertha, instead of devils, I need your help now with Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Nickvard needed medicine? For what?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. I truly respect your honesty. I'm in the service of a nobleman myself, and I know what's expected of us in cases like these, whether it's Nickvard's illness or political machinations over the fate of our kingdom. Both carry equal weight when spoken about behind closed doors, I'd say. I stand by my principles in matters like that.
Lord Libac's troubles can hardly compare to what you're talking about. It's really quite a trifle in comparison.
So you'll tell me then?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Nickvard didn't have time to run down the stairs, eh?
It was in the privy down below the crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us, and I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
Good evening to you.
Do you know where I can find Nickvard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nickvard has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here, talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I need help. You can give it some thought, can't you?
No! And now leave me alone.
When's the last time I ate something?
Can't get it up
Bit
like
longer
Gary
without
Sunny.
food, and I'll
And
really
we'll
start
the
to be
three
grumpy.
wise men.
Three cripples, more like.
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libac. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing, hmm?
What do you mean, forgot?
Nick Libac, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nickvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I'm not.
Ha! That's exactly what a spy would say. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nickvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? Hmm? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nickvard's task.
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
I don't want an invisible sword. Them are spy swords. Suspicious.
I'll gladly give you some groschen to buy your own sword.
Only spies pay bribes. Unless you had more groschen than a common spy would have. Then I'd believe you ain't one of them. Do you have that much?
I'm not going to pay you that much.
You want to hang on to your spy earnings. I understand.
I'll think of a way to convince you. This'll take a bit longer. Almost got it done. About Nickford.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickford, then?
Nickvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Bergoth. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
Good day.
Greetings to you as well.
I'll have the catchpoles look for him.
Maybe he just popped out.
Raining a few blankets together? Help you? You think you could manage some kind of... carved out of
Would that be?
Place is off limits for you.
Easy now! I surrender!
You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole anything, otherwise we'll deal with your unruliness in the pillory.
Look, can you keep a secret?
What are you talking about? What secret?
Look, we're both men, aren't we?
Where are you going with this? You're testing my patience.
It's like this. Yesterday, I met this pretty girl. She makes yarn. And you know what they say about girls who work with spinning wheels?
No? What?
They're really good in bed.
That's a good one.
Well, this yarn spinner, she was very afraid her mother would find out we planned on meeting. So she gives me these complicated directions on where to meet her. At high noon, I stood at the shadow of the tallest linden tree, and step by step, I set out. Then all of a sudden, I look around and realise I have no idea where I am. The girl's nowhere to be seen, and people are yelling at me. That girl made a right fool of me.
That's what you get for thinking with your prick.
I've had enough embarrassment for one lifetime. Can't we just let this one slide?
All right then, I'll turn a blind eye. Just this once. I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
God be with you.
Damn! Shit! Keep that up and you've got it. Bloody dice. Good to see.
Jesus Christ be praised.
You must be Nick Vard, eh? Poor wretch. Sand-coloured cover, embossed. That'll be the book Crazel wants. It looks quite ordinary, apart from being covered in shit.
You're mine! Take that! I'm bleeding! No yielding, you piece of shit! Useless!
Oh, so hungry I could eat a horse. Go! Ka!
My God.
Whoa!
It's like a bloody expensive horse.
Greetings.
My, what a beautiful horse. Good morning to you.
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I had a peek inside. The pictures are nice, but what do you want to learn from them?
You'll find out soon enough. Show me that miraculous thing. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
Let's just say the scribe didn't have it. It actually wasn't even in the castle. Under it, really.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? God damn it, Crazer, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time. Go! Ja! Whoa! Quick! What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Crazel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, to tell the truth, I'm not expecting anything good. We're in a remote place. One of me, 3 of you. You've got no use for me anymore. So you'll try to get rid of me like an inconvenient witness.
That'd be too easy. It'd be more torture to listen to another of Crazel's lectures.
Well, maybe I do talk about my interests a bit too much. But today will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part.
One more word, Zinek, and you'll get one on the nose.
Calm down, friend. I'm just kidding. Tell him then, Bonnie.
This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, The Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
Some kind of weapon?
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Actually, he's pretty spot on, although weapons were our last order of business. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
So you went to a university in Prague? The son of a miller?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin for it, miller or not. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
So they kicked you out?
I didn't give them the pleasure. I left myself. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean alchemy?
Exactly. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
What did your parents say when you returned from your studies?
My mother had already passed away. All my father said was, "I knew you'd be back." And he sent me to haul sacks of flour. I think in the end he was glad to have someone to take over the mill from him. From then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture. And all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
So I was right. You're making weapons.
No, it's about much more than that. We're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnig did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold. And that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerkbuch.
We couldn't believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
Before we get started, There's something I want to know. What is it you're going to do with this powder?
During wartime, like it is now, a flammable and explosive mixture like this has more uses than you can imagine. If we had a few big barrels of the stuff, we could demolish Trotsky if we wanted to. And maybe we will.
All of us here are truly passionate about the idea of a new world, and now it's within our grasp.
This book, Feuerwerkbuch, what's written in it?
Everything you'd want to know about black powder. How to mix it in the proper ratio. How to store it. How to light it properly. And especially how to use it in warfare. Because that's the most important part, after all.
Do you really need that much saltpeter?
We do. Saltpeter makes up almost 3/4 of the mixture. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us once we really get started with manufacturing.
What is it you studied at the university?
I was supposed to become a preacher.
That fits you. Maybe you'd even be a good preacher.
Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't.
God has a path prepared for each of us. And each of us here decided not to follow it.
I was supposed to be a dyer, but I was too lazy to work 6 days a week and soak my hands in lye.
I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't want to give up the booze. And fellas.
And I've already told you everything. The world is what you make it.
How did a scholar and an alchemist become a thief?
Prague is a big city, and a poor student has no chance of getting a decent place to sleep or even something to eat. Learning to shop with 5 fingers was the first requirement for survival. We're all masters of our own destiny.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
As long as you listen to me,
Maybe 9 feet deep.
no
Weather, white ash.
You really led me on about the gunpowder magazine, didn't you? A golem made of dough, souls inside saltpeter, the secrets of light and shadow. That was all just empty talk, wasn't it?
Not exactly. It's all based on the real philosophy of the Jewish Kabbalah. I studied the writings of Bonaventura and Dietrich von Freiberg, but it was never in my interest to put their theories into practice. But they worked brilliantly as a cover-up, don't you think?
I really thought you'd have a golem made from dough walking around the mill, or that I could become invisible.
Ah, but black powder is no less a miraculous creation.
So for the last time, Crazel, what now?
I'll do what I promised, and what will most likely be my fate. I'm going to gather together all the knowledge I've acquired and finish Black Berthold's book. I'll finish his opus.
Uh-huh. And what about me?
That's up to you, Henry. You're a free man. Lord Samine has no hold over you, and never did. You know, the inevitability of God's plan takes no interest in people like you and me. We'll always be little people, beneath it all.
That sounds somehow hopeful in a peculiar way, I'd say. Now I'm even happier about the great thing we've accomplished here.
The ideal conclusion, I'd say. Maybe it's time to carry sacks at a different mill. But if you're still interested in learning a bit more, drawing from the well of alchemical knowledge...
I know where to find you.
Indeed.
Black powder? I'd never have expected that from Crazel.
Imagine, that monarch of ours is half deaf.
That dog of yours? What does that have to do with the gunpowder magazine?
Just that I was wondering that the explosions didn't bother him at all. At least he won't suffer here. And now I'm not surprised he was so unhappy with that bastard Vasarik. In any case, you impressed Crazel by figuring out what we're doing here.
His beating around the bush was quite suspicious, and he's lucky he didn't run into someone who would turn him in for witchcraft.
Anyway, you did a damn fine job. You deserve a nickname from me, like I promised. We're going to call you Sourdough.
Sourdough?
Well, when you came here, you were kind of unrefined, grey, nothing much. But as you gained experience, you rose and rose until you've risen into a companion we need not be ashamed of. Take care then, Sourdough, and come back and visit sometime. Almost done.
With fresh herbs, it would have turned out better.
Greetings to you. Where are you heading, laddie?
I'm just passing through. Why?
If you're headed towards the Rock Tower Pond, make sure to avoid the abandoned barn.
What barn?
There's an old abandoned barn not far from here. Some vagabond has camped there. On the booze from morning till night. Right nuisance he is. I've tried to have a word, but the bastard came at me with an axe. That's why I warn passers-by, so they don't come to no harm. God only knows what that bloke might do.
Thanks. I'll keep it in mind.
Greetings. Do you need something?
What's the latest news, innkeeper?
Nothing much, fortunately, and I hope it stays that way.
Here it comes.
Are you blind?
Whoa! Whoa!
Was ist das? What are you Scott?
sinking around here. Priesen sei der Herr.
What do you have for sale?
What can you do? Was willst du?
What do you...
Du wirst sicher zufrieden sein. Bis bald.
It's a shame I didn't collect fresh herbs.
Praise the Lord.
All right. What am I gonna do with you? Aye. This'll be good.
Out here, you piece of shit.
Well?
Guards!
What's it gonna be? Quit your dawdling and give up, you ne'er-do-well. I'm not gonna say it again. Enough! I'll have a guard come after you. There's a burglary! Hurry!
Now I've got you.
Enough! I give up!
Felt like doing a bit of robbery, did you? Snooping around on other people's property like that? For now, you'll pay a fine. But if we find out there's anything missing, we'll charge you with theft.
Look, can you keep a secret?
What are you talking about? What secret?
Look, we're both men, aren't we?
Where are you going with this? You're testing my patience.
It's like this. Yesterday, I met this pretty girl. She makes yarn. And you know what they say about girls who work with spinning wheels?
No. What?
They're really good in bed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, this yarn spinner, she was very afraid her mother would find out we planned on meeting. So she gives me these complicated directions on where to meet her. At high noon, I stood at the shadow of the tallest linden tree, and step by step, I set out. Then all of a sudden, I look around and realise I have no idea where I am. The girl's nowhere to be seen, and people are yelling at me. That girl made a right fool of me.
That's what you get for thinking with your brick.
Aye. I've had enough embarrassment for one lifetime. Can't we just let this one slide?
All right then. I'll turn a blind eye. Just this once.
A bit longer without food, and I'll really start to be grumpy.
Just as good as his father, Charles.
Bit longer without food and all. Can I spend the night here?
We're not...
Just the one night's enough. All I need is to spend the night.
I'll let you sleep on the hay for a couple of groschen.
Agreed. I'll pay. Here's some groschen for you.
Fine. Feel free to sleep on the hay, but don't go wandering around my home.
It's done. Olbram's bull isn't as white as it used to be.
I knew you wouldn't let me down, mate. Olbram must be having a fit. I can almost see it.
To hell with the fucking pricks. The lousy cities are...
Aye. Something like that. Until they caught me, that is. But don't worry. I didn't rat you out.
At least that. I reckon Olbram will mouth off about it. But there's nothing he can do without proof. They didn't beat you up, did they?
Don't worry. I'm fine.
All right, then. Here's the reward I promised you. Every last groschen.
Thanks.
And since you already got caught up in our little dispute, maybe you can help me with something else.
So, what can I help the Takovites with this time?
We're planning to meet with the Geliovites in the pasture that they keep arguing with us about. We'll sort it all out with them there. Nicely. Man to man. Wouldn't you like to join us?
Why not? After painting that bull, it would actually be quite a pleasant change to talk things over face-to-face.
Aye. Talk. We'll get into a huge argument and then start punching each other in the gob. So then, should I send for Olbram so we can get going?
Wouldn't you rather call an end to this endless feud with the Geliovites? That way, you'd each have half of the pasture, and everyone's happy, no?
Chance would be a fine thing. Olbram will never give up. He says the whole pasture is his.
The borders by the orchard, that's where I got my ass kicked.
Who knows what the old fool got his ass kicked for back then.
You should talk to the bailiff and get him to support you.
Thrush! He already said ages ago he doesn't want to get involved. He even threatened us with the stocks if we keep bothering him.
Well, as you wish. You know what? I'll go have a talk with Thrush. Would you wait for me for a bit?
All right, but don't get your hopes up. And don't you go ganging up with them Gelioff bastards against us. Good night.
I feel
God be
quite
with you.
hungry. Greetings.
What are you doing? Prowling about here?
God be with you. Keep the peace and we'll stay friends.
I came because of the arguments between Takov and Zhelyov.
What happened this time? Did all Bram piss in Project's ale barrels again like last year?
No, but they're getting ready to meet up and beat each other up.
Let them do it then! Maybe a few knocks to the skull will do them good, and they'll leave me alone.
Well, shouldn't you do something about it? They're arguing over the pasture. If you find out who it belongs to, they'll leave you alone, won't they?
Why should I? Let them eat each other for all I care. In the worst case, I'll put them all in the stocks. That should sort them out.
I'm sure you have enough worries as is. And the Takovites and Jelliavites are just wasting your time. Wouldn't it be worth it to sort it out?
That it would. Bandits are running wild. My daughter is leaving the house. I don't have time for those morons right now. How the fuck am I supposed to find out who the pasture belongs to? I looked in the Chronicle. Things like that tend to be there. But Bailiff Brada, who was here before me, must have been a lunatic. You'd have to be mad to make any sense of that book.
Then let me have a look. I may not be mad, but maybe I'll find something you overlooked. You won't have to worry about anything.
You want to touch such a rare book with those filthy peasant hands? Have you lost your mind?
Filthy peasant hands? Do you know how many books I've read? And I never fold corners. If there's anything actually useful in the Chronicle, I'll find it.
Fine, have it your way. Maybe you'll manage to make some sense of Brada's bullshit. But if I find out you've even opened that book too harshly, you'll have me to answer to.
What's new in the county, Master Bailiff?
I was just visited by one of the local peasants. He said he found more fresh graves behind his field, just below the village, along the road to Nabokov.
What do you mean, more? You sound like this isn't the first time.
That we found someone buried here? Don't even ask. I've been digging up bodies ever since that bandit gang started running rampant. Most of them are von Burgo's men, and that's about it.
That sounds interesting. Thank you.
Again. You refused to get me more last time I asked. So it won't come as a surprise when I refuse again. What am I supposed to write? You know what? Why don't you write a complaint? What do you need, my friend?
This Latin phrase looks important. Otherwise it wouldn't be written in red, would it? Fecit ordinem in regione ope clavi ferre. To bring order to the region with the help of an iron nail. That should help me.
Yelling about how you were Sigismund of Luxembourg himself.
Christ. So prospered, you said?
See? That wasn't so hard.
What would you like?
Ka! 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 Go! Go! Ka! Quick! Go! Go!
Whoa, whoa. Ah, here's the damn nail. Right in the middle of the pasture. Olbram and Procek won't be happy.
Carry on then. Hail. Someone's been pampering this horse.
I finally found the damn border between the Takov and Zhelyov parts of the pasture.
How the hell did you manage that?
I found it in that chronicle of yours. It wasn't easy, but we can finally put an end to all that endless fighting.
Oh, about fucking time. So then, are you sure you found the right place?
Definitely. Bailiff Brader took iron nails and used them to mark the border so that people wouldn't forget where it is. One of them is in the oak tree on the pasture.
That's nice of him and all, but he could have fucking told somebody about it. Who can make sense of those writings of his? At least old Bram and Project will leave us alone now. Go to them, and when you all meet in the pasture, I'll ride over and settle this nonsense once and for all. And if those two start arguing again, I'll be hammering nails into their arses instead of trees.
My God, that looks like a bloody expensive horse. Eh? What do you need, my friend?
I sorted everything out. Let's go and meet the Zheliovites and have a discussion.
Finally! Come on, let's call the lads over and send for Olbram. Well, Zheliovites, did you miss us?
Of course they did. I reckon they hardly slept a wink.
Can you blame them? I'd rather come and get a beating than hang around in Zheleov too.
You see? They're provoking us again. There's no use trying to negotiate with them.
There's nothing to negotiate, old man. The pasture is ours, and that's final.
Bullshit! You know right well that I got smacked around as a child in that orchard, right over there.
You know what? Now you'll get smacked around here too.
Enough! Does anybody here have anything better to do?
Trust? What are you doing here?
This shouldn't concern you, bailiff. We'll just beat those bastards' arses and go home.
Don't you think there's been enough fighting and nonsense?
I won't tolerate this nonsense in my territory.
Tell that to the Zheliovites. Maybe they'll finally get it into their thick heads that this pasture is ours.
In your dreams, you Takovite swine!
Kulva! Be quiet already!
You're both wrong. The pasture is split in half. From here to that oak over there is Zheliov property, and from the oak on it belongs to Tachov.
We're supposed to share with them? Ha!
How do you know? You're not even from around here.
But unlike you, yokels, he can read. It's all there, black on white, in the Troskovitz Chronicle. So you'll obey it and finally give it a rest.
They've done so much to hurt us. They should have to make it up to us. Make them pay.
None of that. They're the ones always provoking us. You know what? Let's give them a nice final bashing.
Both of you shut up, damn it! All these years you've been hurting each other. Nobody owes anyone anything.
That's right. From this point forward, this dispute is over. And if I hear about anyone causing trouble again, I'll have you all clapped in the pillory. Together. Now pack up and go home.
Well, Grandpa, are you satisfied?
Greetings, Kurva. Greetings to you. Not in the slightest. Are you?
No.
Well, at least it's fair. But I'd still rather punch you in the face.
Don't you worry. I'm sure we'll find a reason to fight again soon enough. Otherwise, it'd be an awful bore around here, eh?
Well said.
Now, I hope the Takovites and Zheliovites won't be at each other's throats for a while.
I can hardly believe it. I'm sure Lord von Berghoff will be delighted with how I handled it.
How you handled it?
Aye? With a little help from you. True enough. It's nice that someone deals with problems instead of making more for a change.
Ah, don't mention it.
Leave it off. We've got our good name back. Since you did so well with the Chronicle, I have another book of knowledge for you. I didn't get much out of it myself, but maybe you'll find something revealing in it. That's a damn fine reward, don't you think?
Well, if that's all you have.
I'd say it's more than enough. Stop that whistling.
I could go for something to eat now. What's new around here?
Nothing new. It's quiet here for... Farewell.
Quick! God! Go! God! God! Go! God! God! Quick! God! Go! God! Oh,
How can I help you today, friend?
Do you live here all alone? In a wilderness like this?
What wilderness? Walk a few paces and you come to a bloody great castle. And I'm not really alone. Animals are company too.
I understand. I prefer being on my own as well.
But don't think I'm a hermit. People sometimes come to get ointments or herbs, and I'm glad to see them. But greeting neighbors and listening to gossip every day? I'd rather not, thanks. It's true, I don't always sleep easy here. The castle may as well not be there for all the protection it gives me. You get strange people wandering around from time to time. The kind best avoided by honest folk. My advice to you is to be careful. I recently saw 2 vagabonds like that. No doubt they don't think I'm worth the effort. But I still lock the door every night and push a bench up against it.
Where exactly did you come across them?
In the rocks above my cottage. Be careful if you go there.
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to discuss the price.
Very well.
Is this enough?
You must be from a poor region. You see, I knew we'd make a deal. Thank you. And a good day to you, friend.
I'm feeling a bit peckish. What do you have for sale? I'm feeling a bit peckish. I could go for something to eat now. It's no wonder it turned out bad with such dried up herbs. Should I have boiled that belladonna for a shorter time? Did I boil that belladonna too long? When's the last time I ate something? With fresh herbs, it would have turned out better. With fresh herbs, it would have turned out better. Next time I should use fresh herbs. It's no wonder it turned out bad with such dried up herbs.
Eh? Huh?
How's things, Goodman?
Lacho Jives Gajo. What would your name be? Folks call me Carol. Have we met before?
They call me Henry of Skalitz, and no, there's little chance we met before.
Goda Chacho. Maybe not, but that does not mean I have never heard of you, Gajo.
How's that? How could you have heard about me?
You're the one who saved young Tibor, Laches, Mishtes.
Jesus. What the hell did you hear about it?
What I heard was that some Gajo brutes wrongly imprisoned Tibor, nearly chopped off his hands, head, and no doubt his balls, too. Mishtes, Mishtes. You stood up for him and fucked up those sons of whores.
No, Carol. Tibor got himself into that mess. But Marika doesn't deserve to be so miserable.
Goda Chacho, you helped our people and that is a worthy thing. And you know what, Gajo? I will make it up to you however I can. Palikerav, Gajo.
I'd like to know what the future holds for me.
Patyav, who would not? But you are out of luck. Only my Maria can divine what lies ahead, and she has just gone to the village.
If you have anything of interest to sell, I'll buy it.
Chacho, and for you, Gacho, I'll let it go for next to nothing. A token of gratitude, to let you know that us Roma never forget. Avarde dik. Thank you kindly, and come again, friend.
Ka! Quick! Quick! Go! So this is where Istvan landed. I hope it hurt, you bastard. Quick! God! Go! God! Go! Quick!
See the priest. Nobody else can help you.
Oh, aye, the priest.
Greetings.
How could I have forgotten about him? Maybe because I don't think he'll be able to solve my problem.
Heartfelt prayer saved entire masses of Jews. And Jonah from the whale. So don't tell me it can't help with a little thing like yours.
A little thing? So you're insulting me too now?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Supposed to open my mouth and wait for it to rain?
But I reckon...
Welcome. What can I do for you?
The Lord be with you. What do you need?
How's your shift?
No great shakes. The last little while we've had our fair share of scoundrels. I thank God for every day without a fuck-up.
What's the situation with hunting game around Troskovitz?
I don't know why you're asking, but it's strictly forbidden, of course. Only the local lords can hunt game. But if you're interested in gossip, then aye. There's poachers running around the forests, and they're worse than wolves. But it's all them fucking nomads' fault. Since they came to the region, they brought nothing but shit. It started with stealing hens, then the odd sheep disappeared here and there, and it's up to me to solve it.
What's the local Lord Serotto like?
How would I know? I've only seen him a couple of times. He spends most of his time in Prague at the royal court. And why are you interested in that, anyway?
I'm a stranger here, so I'm just curious.
Don't get too curious, fella. God be with you, and have a pleasant evening.
Get out of here right now, or I'll kick your ass! Fuck off before I kill you!
Quick! Go! Ja! Easy, good horse. Quick! Whoa, whoa.
Praise God.
Why aren't you asleep? Jesus Christ be praised.
I need to get to the Kuttenberg region.
Then get ready to spend a few days in the carriage, mate. 'Cause of those bloody bandits, we got to take all sorts of detours and stay off the main roads. But if you got the time and the coin...
Here you go.
All right, give me a mo. I'll get the carriage and horses ready. Good. All done. The carriage is ready.
Will it be just the two of us?
Aye, I reckon so. Unless we meet someone along the way who could use a ride. I'll be taking some goods too, since it's such a long journey.
How long will we be travelling?
Well, like I said, a few days. We'll travel during the days, staying off the main roads so that we avoid any unwanted encounters. The roads are bloody dangerous these days, especially with a loaded carriage.
Let's get going.
Stop for a moment. Now you're gonna get it. Don't fuck yourself. Show your stuff. What do you want? Ha! No chance! Show your stuff! Surprise! show your... Take that! Now that's what I call an opener! I'm all yours! You!
I've been waiting for you. See, you shit! You're no match for me!
Greetings.
What'll it be this fine morning?
Do you need help with anything? I'm looking for work.
I don't. But if you're not afraid of hard labour, try asking at the mill. The miller always needs help. Anyway, old Marchal's got other things to grind besides flour at the moment.
What do you mean?
Rumour has it some strumpet's shacked up with him, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of him since.
Keeping his nose to a different grindstone, then?
You could say that. As they say, if you want to see an old man act the fool, give him a young woman.
How do I get to the mill?
Head southwest till you reach the river. Then follow it upstream. It's a huge mill in the middle of nowhere. You can't miss it.
Thanks. Ka! Go! Ka! Quick! Go! Quick! Go! Ka! Go!
There's been a terrible misunderstanding. Open the door, please.
What are you doing in there?
Thank God! You've got to help me. The miller's gone completely mad. He locked me in here. He wants to kill me. The keys will be in the hearth room somewhere.
Tell me, where exactly are the keys? I can't search the whole mill.
In the hearth room, somewhere by the fireplace, or on the table or a shelf. You'll have to look around for them.
All right, I'll help you. But you need to calm down.
You're my hero. Thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you. That lunatic said he was fetching an axe. You have to help me.
Wait, slow down. Who are you?
Can't you see? I'm from the mill. I'm the miller's wife. The miller, that old beast. He's always been nasty to me, but now he started beating me too. So I said I was leaving him. I told him anywhere would be better than here.
And he locked you up?
He said the only place I'd be going would be 6 feet under.
Damn, that's terrible.
Please, talk to him. He'll listen to a proper man. I'm too scared of him.
All right, I will. Where can I find him?
There's a shed behind the mill with wood in it. He must have gone there to get the axe.
Stay here. I'll go and look for him.
Thank you. And be careful.
There's no one here. I hope I didn't miss him. I have to get back.
The door was locked. How the hell Hey! What are you doing there? I reckon you're just who we're looking for. What are you doing here?
I'm looking for the brute who's been beating his wife. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miller?
What the fuck?
Hold on. Let the young fella talk. You know what happened here?
I know enough for you to arrest this violent thug. If I hadn't helped that poor woman he locked up, she'd have lost her mind by now.
I told you so! He let her go! You idiot! That woman was stealing from my mill. I locked her in there so I could go and find a guard. What did you have to get involved for?
But she said he was beating her, that he wanted to kill her, and God knows what else.
That fuck I did! I caught her rummaging through my chest! She was a fucking thief!
Well, that was easier than I expected. The wicked girl got away, and the young man here helped her to escape. So, either you pay for what she stole, or I'll personally clap you in the stocks.
How dare you? I'm the son of the royal hetman, you scum. Show me the respect I'm owed.
But I don't know you.
May I remind you, when you deal with me, you might as well be dealing with the king himself. I'm the son of Lord Radzig Cobbler, and if you don't accord me the treatment I deserve, I'll show you exactly why it doesn't pay to fuck with me.
If that's the case, we're sorry, sir. I'd have never expected nobility in a dump like this. I mean, we wouldn't have expected you here, sir.
But he let her go! I mean, she stole everything I had!
Shut your mouth, you fool! I'll make sure the thief is caught, sir. And once again, please accept our deepest apologies. I'll go to the village right away to see if anyone's seen her.
But what about...
You stay here, in case she comes back.
Curva.
I bid you farewell, sir.
Fucking bitch! A man treats her like his own, and she repays him like this. All women are the same.
Whoa, whoa.